Hey, oh wow, that was kind of weird. I look and then I wasn't on my camera and now I am. Input lag, I guess. Hello everyone. So excited to be back. It's been a while since I've been live streaming. I went on vacation, then kids were home for spring break and we all got quarantined and figured, might as well start streaming again. And I've been working on some other projects. I haven't been able to just live stream. It's been kind of sad not being able to share my work with everybody. But I'm excited to be back and finally be coding again live. What I'm going to do today, though, is work on an old pull request. A while ago, we were working on a Xamarin.Forms pull request, and we were building some stuff for the embedded fonts. Hey, Gareth, doing great. I shared it last week. Oh, yes. Some people at MVP Summit have seen some of the stuff I've been working on lately. Most of it I do in plain sight. I just haven't been live streaming it. So fun stuff there. But yeah, how's everyone doing with the quarantine? I was in a meeting yesterday where we were talking about how we're dealing with it. Seems those without kids are doing a little bit better than those of us with kids. It's interesting because my kids normally, I've been working from home forever, and my kids normally go do things. Summers are no big deal. They go hiking, they go to the museum. There's just so many activities. Every day there's an activity, but they can't go anywhere. And so they kind of understand it. My 3-year-old keeps saying, oh yeah, we can't because the virus, which is kind of funny. The older kids kind of do it. Yes, those without kids normally are doing better anyways. It's true. But it's been fun. It's been interesting. We've been doing a lot of sledding in our backyard. Kids, we still have 3 feet of snow, and my wife's been locking the kids out. She goes out with them, but for about 20 minutes minimum a day, if not an hour. So it's been warm-ish, 36, not too bad. So they've been having fun. But yeah, how's everyone else doing? Doing good with your sanity? Like I said, I'm used to working from home. It's just very, very different. All right, I'm gonna switch screens. We can keep talking while we look at this. So this is the pull request. Yeah, I understand being anxious. Everyone is. They started shutting down Anchorage so early, which is good. It's just we've been on lockdown now for a few weeks already. And yes, life could easily be written by a 4th grader right now. It's just crazy. It's hectic. It's hard for everyone. But Anchorage shut down a couple weeks ago. So we've been on lockdown for a few weeks now. All non-essential businesses have been closed for, when did they close? I think they closed last week. They started officially telling businesses they have to shut down. They can't even do delivery. If they're non-essential, they have to shut down. And which is kind of, it's tough. And yeah, everyone's been scared. The toilet paper. I've never understood the toilet paper thing. Okay, life hacks by Clancy. I live by having big giant paper goods delivered to my house. My wife has made fun of me for this for years, but it's like going to Costco or even a grocery store and you buy toilet paper, it takes up your entire cart. It always has, and I've always been against it. So every couple months, Amazon just delivers a new pack of toilet paper, and we always have one extra delivery, so we're always one ahead. So it's been no big deal. Yeah, the only delivery we're still allowed to get food delivery and groceries and things like that, things that are considered essentials, or things, Best Buy is getting around it because they are allowing companies who need to be open to support people working from home. So if you need to buy computer supplies or things like that, computer repair stores are still open. Apple's closed, but the local Apple specialists are still open. So yeah, it's been interesting. But yeah, even the non-essentials that are still they're not allowed to deliver. Oh, I forgot I was updating Visual Studio. So yes, we're going to be on a preview of Visual Studio. Let's hope it behaves for us. Yeah, we can all get delivered from Amazon still. They're shutting down the local businesses, which is kind of funny. It's like, wait, I can order from Amazon, but I can't order from a local business, which is kind of sad. All right, so this pull request, while Visual Studio loads, worked on January 13th. It's a while ago. That's been a while. And it kind of works. This is the one where we're going to be able to embed fonts directly inside of a shared library or a .NET Standard library, so we have more things shared, and then we can use fonts in a cross-platform manner, just because that stuff's kind of not fun to do. Hey, Luce, welcome. Yeah, like I said, we're allowed to do the takeaway for hot food. We've been doing that a few times just to help and support the local businesses. We've been actually eating out more than we normally do, just because we're trying to help out the best we can. And it's nice to do something like, oh, I got to go drive and pick up the food. So just to get out. My car has been sitting in my garage for like 3 days now and hasn't left, which is kind of weird as well, because my wife's constantly driving kids everywhere. All right, so on these comments, there's a lot of comments saying things aren't working. Some things were working. I know iOS works, Android doesn't work. Yeah, car's been plugged in the whole time. Why wouldn't it be plugged in? So, yeah. I actually just leave it plugged in all the time, so I haven't even unplugged it in a few days. That's the funnier part. Okay, so let's start digging in and seeing what's broken and why. Let's hope all my project stuff's opening. Everything doesn't always load as I switch branches. Yeah, a lot of people are actually missing their hour commute. Like, how are they catching up on their podcasts and everything else like that? I've been seeing some funny things on Twitter about that. They're like, oh, yeah, we do those things. Like I said, I wonder what all these I need. Why are they not available? All I did was switch branches and it freaks Visual Studio out a lot of times. Millions of white space changes, so we're going to ignore all those as we're committing. All right, it's saving. That's why I can't bring these back. I should have made sure I could build and get everything running before I launched live streaming. Well, there's a couple things that I want to do while that's still thinking. I want to make sure we fix Android, so Android will do the fancy fonts. Someone was awesome and added something about a Samantha font, so we're going to have to make sure that Samantha font works as well. Super exciting. So we're going to download that sample and try that out. Yeah, it used to do better. The problem is I can tell you exactly what's going on. They're aggressively trying to reload. Yeah, the Samantha font's a little funny and a little creepy. We're going to play with it anyway. So we're going to make sure the Samantha font works. But what happens is when you change, it triggers the file system saying, hey, all these files changes. And Visual Studio is trying to reload too quickly rather than just waiting for all the Git operations to work. What it should do and what it used to do was not reload until you clicked on it. And then when it comes back to focus, that's when it would do it. Now it's doing it too aggressively and things are like, I can't load this. It can't load this. And it's like, actually you can. Had you waited 10 seconds, it would have been fine. All right, so let's reload that one. It's going to make it think and save again. Oh, nope, that one went pretty quick. Trying to think if there's any others I need. That's all right. Let's just try building the gallery for Android. This one, right? Debug. There we go. Let's press play. See what happens. Yeah, hopefully everyone's doing good with all this staying home. And I mean, I'm kind of an introvert. I'm kind of a mix. I like people. I don't mind getting out, but I do like staying home. What is my editor font? I'm trying to remember. It's one of those ligature ones. I thought I set it up once and it was fun and I never changed it. I can't check. I'm taking away from your Thursday stream. Oh, you were going to do this on Thursday. You know, I can stop and let you do it. All you, Dan. You can probably tell me what I'm doing wrong. Yes, it's Fira code. That's right. I was going to look it up, but I couldn't get into my preferences. Yes, this is Fira code. All right, so let's make sure this runs. It's going to launch our emulator. I've missed live streaming. It's been like a month since I've done this, and I don't know why I ever went so long. Sad. What? All right, emulator starting. Yeah, I think I like the ligature stuff where it like combines everything. At first I was like, oh, that's cool, I should try it. And since I've been using it, I really like it. Makes things pretty readable. What's that complaining about? All right. Building, emulators launching. All right, so there's a few things we're gonna have to look up. Also, alias exists on these embedded fonts, and we're not using it. Also, my audio is fine, right? Am I clipping? Is it too high? Want to make sure I have it placed right. I actually didn't pay attention to that. Yeah, my streams tend to be kind of random though. Not everybody enjoys them, so I'm glad you do. I tend to deep dive into, oh, come on. Let's clean. I may have to like reset. Actually, let's do that. Let's close the solution. Let's reset this puppy for real. Audio might be clipping a little high. Okay, so let me... How's that? Is that better? A little bit better? Could be my mic placement. I can move it a little bit. Hopefully, how's that? Are we good? I'm not seeing red. I know there's a delay, but we're good? Anybody? Bueller? Okay, perfect. All right. Sometimes you just gotta like reset the entire repo. Let's let that restore. And then let's watch Visual Studio rewrite all of my stuff again. Wait, what is that? That's the encoding there. That's kind of funny. Like, why? Why re-encode everything for me? Oh, I didn't reset as well. Oh well, the clean should have done it. All right, so we need Control Gallery Android. Let's hope this works. This project's just so big. There's so many projects. It really, really makes Visual Studio cry. It's true. When I'm working on other projects, I don't have this many issues at all. It's just this one's so big. But I'm guessing a lot of you have large projects as well. The older a project gets, the bigger they get, the more complicated. Here we go. Yeah, it does. It's trying to do a lot. I understand. Any day now. Come on, build. You got this. Also, I'm noticing like I really wish I would have got my hair cut before all this isolation stuff. Because it's getting long, hard to deal with. Looks like a comb over if I don't do it right when it's this long, which is kind of funny. Too much hair. Hey, wow, this build is so slow. I haven't done a full rebuild in so long. My wife does cut my kids' hair, but she's not very good yet. She's still learning. She's only been doing it for a little while now. So, yeah. Luckily, the person who cuts my hair is a friend, and so I may just like stop by their house and be like, hey. May slightly break some social isolation at some point. Like I said, it's going on 2-3 weeks already. Yeah, this is the 3rd week of isolation, and it sounds like they're going to clamp down. They're talking about shutting down the state and not allowing air travel in anymore, stuff like that. So if they shut down to that level, it's going to be crazy. I don't know how long we're going to be shut down like this. It's rough. All right, Visual Studio, finish building. Let's do this. I do have the like verbose build debug build stuff. I wonder if that slows it down, having the console.writeLine on the right line, all that stuff. Because it's very verbose when you have that stuff turned on. Like, wow. It's building the final project though, so unless Visual Studio's frozen, which I'm getting a beach ball. Nope, there it goes. Done. It says it's done with the something. Yeah. Yeah, Alaska's already socially distanced. It's it's true. And I'm sad they shut down our resorts. Friday, like we've been on isolation, but Friday we went, took the kids snowboarding, which is awesome and fun. It's like we're out on the mountain, we're not near anybody. Yes, there's the lift lines, but they had us all 6 feet apart waiting in the lift lines and then one person per lift. So it's like we're pretty distanced. And they shut all that down too. Like literally everything is shut down here. It's fun. All right, come on, build. I'm any minute now. Deploying! It's deploying! We haven't even started coding yet. We're just trying to test and see where we're at. Yeah, no, I don't mind answering questions, especially while we're waiting for things to build. So Comet is a different way of doing things. Yeah, you're not going to catch in a ski resort. I agree. So Comet is similar to Xamarin.Forms. It's a different style. So Xamarin.Forms is really around the mentality of MVVM. So it's just the architecture you're forced into. It's built around XAML, and it's built for that exact purpose. Comet is an experiment trying to do it differently, following the MVU style. So it's very similar. Things are going to look and feel similarly, but you use them very differently. In MVU, you don't need as many layers. It kind of merges them all together. So you have your models, and then you have your view. And your view takes your models and builds the UI based off of it. So it's just one thing. Your view and your view model are the same thing in MVU. So it's pretty different, but it's fun. You should try it out. Definitely try it out. Give me some feedback on it. All right, so there's a font one in here, right? I think. Embedded fonts. Okay. That worked. Okay. So let's find... So yes, Comet is like Fabulous. Fabulous was first and it inspired me a lot. There's a couple things that are very different. If you guys want to talk that really quick, I have no problem jumping in and showing you that. So let's look at Fabulous for a second. So Fabulous is a bit different. Here we go. So Fabulous is really cool. It's amazing, and it's all F# and it's beautiful. So there's a couple things that are very strict in MVU. MVU came from from Elm, and there's this whole thing around how Elm works and what Elm does. But the idea is, and Fabulous follows that exactly and is a perfect implementation of Elm and the MVU pattern. So you'll notice that there's a couple different things here. There's a model and there's a message. So when the message happens, the message gets passed into this update function. And the update function says, hey, based on what this thing is, we're going to change the model, give you a new model that's manipulated, because everything's read-only in this stuff. So they give you a new model that says, based on this message, here's the new model, and then they rebuild the view based on the model. So button click, they dispatch this message. Message shows up. Message goes and says, hey, we're going to change the text now to thanks for using Fabulous. It now runs that model again. All right, and so every time you do anything to change that, you send a message that updates the model, and now the view updates. So that's Fabulous, and it's awesome and really, really cool. It just looks nice too. All right, now Comet does things a little bit differently. C# is really tricky to do some of this messaging stuff. You can do it. You can do enums. You could do, but it's just, there's a lot of pop and circumstance that goes around doing that. We don't have discriminated unions. We're missing a lot of things in our language to do that. And it's just a bit more code you have to set up. So Comet, on the other hand, will do something similar. Here we go. So here in Comet, the state, this is just an easy way to wrap data or built-in objects, but this is our model here, right? So we have a model saying click count, and it's just an integer. And then we have a body. This is that view method that builds the view. And whenever something changes, so in this case, it pays attention, oh, click count was used for text. And button just increments that count. So in this instance, whenever that click count changes, it will rebuild this body and present the new UI, new UI. Now Comet did a couple more things to optimize it more. This is actually all data bound, even though you didn't do anything to tell it it's data bound. It pays attention to how these things are used. So yes, state automatically implements iNotify property changed for you. That's what state does. And also there's a new one inside of Comet, iNotify property read, which subclasses iNotify property changed. It is called every time the get is called. So that's how I can do magic data binding. So inside of this body, when this body is called to build, it pays attention to when each of these variables are read. So click count, it knows, is used only to display the text. So it knows it can now just reevaluate just this text function, and you don't have to pass these in as functions, but it's better if you're doing string formatting. So it knows during this function, we called click count. So now when the button increments click count, I actually don't rebuild this whole UI, I just recall just this function. So there's a lot of things that I've done in there to optimize it, and that, because yeah, here again, we're just saying new text, it uses that same thing. So now when state.text changes, or when this thing changes, guess what? Text just gets reevaluated to that new value. And so it pays attention to what went into those values, which makes it to where it's a little bit faster than doing this whole diffing each time. Yeah, and you can start doing some really interesting things. So if I bring up one more thing in a sample really quick before we go back to what we were actually working on. Inside the sample, there is one called audit report. There's some really things, a lot of times you start thinking about, you want to build something that changes. So this screen, whenever it's loading, we show an activity indicator right in the middle of the screen, just a little spinner. And if there are no reports, there's no values, we actually give you a button that says generate report. And finally, if it's not loading and we have reports, it returns a list view. So instead of doing all these things where we hide and show and hide and show, you just only return the UI that's actually relevant. And so you can add and remove, and whenever any of these things changes, that was used to build that body. So is loading was used not for a specific, like for the text of something, it knows it was used globally inside that body. So whenever is loading changes, it's going to call this body function. It's going to diff the body with the old one, see what changed. If nothing changed, it's just going to update the values of whatever was there if it needs to. If things did change, it's going to rebuild the UI or just incrementally add what needs to be added or take things away. Yes. I would agree with you on that as well. It'd be awesome to do something with this. So you could use this in F# as well, or I'm working on some things to actually make Fabulous more performant as well. There's some things in the pipeline, some stuff that was shown before and like during the MVP summit. Some of the people that we're going to be doing that will actually make Fabulous better and faster. So it's not forgotten about. And so does it fix the speed? So definitely speed issues. There's 0 speed issues in Comet. Like, especially since I got rid of, I don't have to build with the MVU thing. Every time something changes, you think about this. I just clicked on one button, and so I'm going to change one thing. If your view's big, let's just say it's a dashboard that has graphs and lots of other things, you're going to rebuild this each time. And then it does a diff each time. So there's some downsides to that. That's one of the reasons I did this magic data binding, was because I wanted to avoid that whenever possible. And if you, like going back to one of my other examples, if you were to do that string formatting, I actually can tell if you're doing this and you were to string format this, I actually throw a warning telling you, hey, don't do that. Switch to the function instead, it's faster. So there's a lot of things I can do to make it faster. And so we are doing things, there's a lot of things that are going to help Fabulous out as well here. And I think it'd be nice to have one type of how this works to where we can do, I mean, you should be able to use F# to do comment. Haven't figured that out yet, haven't even started that yet, but that'd be nice to do something down the line. So yeah. All right. But yes, a lot of the learnings from Comet are actually going to help make Xamarin.Forms better, and it's going to help make Fabulous better. So there's a lot of good that's come from this experiment so far, and there's a lot more good that will come. All right, so these fonts are working in Android on this branch. So let's go read through those comments and see if we can figure out what exactly is going on. Let's try the Samantha font, because there's something up with the Samantha font. All right. So let's look at this. Ooh, embedded font sample. I wonder how easily this would be, or how easy this would be to use it without, let me bring this to a different folder. All right, so let's just bring it to my live stream folder. Let's go into here, embedded fonts. All right, let's load this and let's see what they're doing. Sorry, my Nest is freaking out because the Nest cameras, because the kids are playing outside right now. All right, so this has the Samantha font. It's using that Xamarin.Forms. An approximate match was found. All right, so let's look how this is doing it. They're using font family Samantha. Let's just, I shouldn't have closed the other one. Let's just reload this in. So let's close, let's go back to the Xamarin.Forms we were in. We can look at a lot of this stuff inside of VS Code. All right, so in VS Code, they are doing two different labels, Samantha and this one. And then they are adding it into the app.cs. They're adding them both in like that. Okay, perfect. So then let's also look at VS Code, how they're adding these things in there. They're just included as an embedded resource. That looks good. All right, so let's go to this control gallery. Let's expand it out and let's do the same thing. Controls, this is the one that goes in, right? Fonts, here we go. Where are those fonts? Did they not include the fonts? Okay, they did. Resources, I'm like, come on, killing me. All right, so we're going to just copy these two in. Copy, perfect. Now let's go grab this. Oops, did not mean to do that. Now I think inside of, I don't remember where that font thing lives. Is it this? Embedded fonts. Embedded fonts, here we go. I think I put those attributes right there. Nose is itching. All right, so let's do that. Now we can jump into this XAML and throw these, we'll just throw that same XAML in. I know most people don't have spaces and tabs showing. I find it so fascinating. Oh, I don't have it on here. Seeing the differences. All right, so let's run this again. Actually, let's make sure those are embedded resource. Let's stop, because I did that wrong on both of those. And the other one we just added was this regular. There's one of these. There we go. Stop, start. Only monsters use spaces, you mean? Those who don't care about accessibility. I'm sorry, but if it wasn't for accessibility, you'd have the right to choose. But if you care about people who have issues and have a disability with how they see, then sure, go spaces. Be mean to them. Be as hard as you want on them. But if you care about those people, you'll use tabs. Oh, hold on, I will get the link for you. Where did I last bring that one up? I had just brought this up the other day in our Xamarin chats. Hey, Sweeky. Dan tried calling me out for not deleting tabs and keeping spaces. So I was just bringing up the... Here you go. I will link this in here for you, Dan, for reading at your own leisure. Yeah, it's accessibility. This will give you great reasons why, and you can see that depending on the visual impairment people have, they either they use a giant font and want small spaces, or they would need to spread the spaces out so they can read it better, and they use ultra-wide monitors. So it just depends on the person, but you can control your tab distance. You can't control spaces. Spaces are controlled by the fonts. So yes, that's why you use tabs over spaces. But yeah. Yeah, might be a little behind loose. Sorry. It's hard to keep these all in sync. I wonder, they do a good job overall, but I wish we could do like a absolute zero delay, but can't. All right. I do have my Twitch set to as little delay as possible. All right. Whoa, hey, okay. Is that what Samantha.Font's supposed to look like? I have no idea what Samantha.Font's supposed to look like. Oh, come on. Reveal in Finder, not... Okay, Samantha.Font is fancy. Okay, so it works with Mono, it works with Cute Font, but it does not work with Samantha. And it is not working with this font awesome. All right, so we have a repo. Yes, because this is the... Which one do we just add? FAF regular. Okay, FAF regular is not really showing me anything. Well, this is using my embedded fonts, but that FA5 regular they sent is not font awesome, because look at that. Regardless, that font should still work. All right, so let's dig in on what this is doing. Hey, thanks for the follow, Kev. Oh, I had my alerts muted for some reason. Sorry, if someone else has followed, I totally missed the sound effects. I should be hearing them on this machine too, and I'm not. Oh, it's because it's turned down on my amp. I'm sorry. I have my sounds turned down on this machine. Alright, sorry Dan, that one was for you. I meant to play that sound effect earlier for you. Hopefully you guys could hear it. Can you? Is my sounds working? No? My sound effects aren't working. Gotta fix that. We need font sounds. Audio. Alright, we'll try this.
You ever get tired of being wrong? I do! I really
There you go, Dan. That one was for you. All for you. Alright. So let's figure out what's going on with these fonts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually comment these two out because I want to dig into the font loading stuff. And I want to do that as soon as possible. That was a great movie. Totally underrated. Yeah. I love that movie. Amazing movie. Okay. I actually don't know what some of my sound effects are. I haven't done this in so long.
Ouch! Baseballs!
All right. Another good movie. All right. So let's jump into where this loading font stuff is. I don't remember where I even put that code. This is why you get your pull requests in all the way and don't let them sit for however many months that it's sat. All right. Okay, so let's look for something. Oh, this is platform specific stuff too. Actually, let's run this now on iOS. I just want to see if iOS is going to load both those fonts. I didn't think about that. Let's pay attention where we need to fix things. Wow, that's kind of crazy that they're rate limiting people because streaming high def and 4K. Wow, that's impressive. That's really impressive. I mean, everyone's at home and bored and nothing to do. So yes, everyone is going to be streaming video. And it's funny how people are like on Twitter telling people to stop gaming because the games are clogging up the internet. It's like Ted Stevens' old talk about clogging up the tubes of the internet. All right, so okay, it's building that. While that builds, let's find this code inside of Android. I remember there's code specifically in Android for this. So let's go on the platforms. Let's go to Android. Let's dig into something about font. There's a font something or other. Embedded Font Loader. What a good name. All right. No. Well, the pull request I'm working on is so you don't need these in the inside of your specific projects. You only need them in the shared .NET project. So that's the pull request I'm working on. So no, not needed. You only add them to as a resource. Did I start it that long ago? I started it a while ago. I got one of them in, and then I got this other one I started on to fix some of the issues with it, and that has not got in yet. So yes, the goal, when all is said and done, you will just add your fonts as a resource, as an embedded resource, and they'll work. So, and eventually I need to take the time to make it to where you don't have to do, right now I'm forcing you to do that attribute saying the embedded fonts are here and this is where you get them from. I need to change that. I need to make it to where there's a new type here that automatically happens that is font, embedded font. And then it'll magically do it all for you and give you some properties so you can change names and set aliases and things like that. I need to get there. Not ready to do that yet. All right, so iOS. Embedded font. All right, Samantha's not working on iOS either. And same with the font awesome thing, it's a question mark. But I think that's because they're using the wrong font. I think this font awesome regulars, they just have the wrong font. So let's do, what's that other one? We have font awesome regular 400. Let's just see what happens. Do I do the 400? Now I can't remember what goes into these. Wow, they were not letting you download Xbox games either? That's crazy. All right, nothing there. I can't remember how that one works. We'll get it working. All right, so let's dig in to, I guess it doesn't matter which one we're gonna work on. We can work on both. Let's go in and see what's going on with font Samantha. Let's fix Samantha. So inside of our font stuff, is it gonna tell us any data about this font? Isn't there some way to view what all the font stuff really means? Yeah, why can't I do view show font info? It seems wrong for an ISP to be able to block you from downloading Xbox games. Like, wow. We really need to, like, yeah, not allow people to do this, shape the internet like this. All right, well, let me think how else to see that. Let's open with, there's got to be something. All right. What's the name on this? Wait, oh, that's Font Awesome 5. I'm like, wait, that says it's Font Awesome. All right, so I want to look at the Samantha font. All right, so it's not showing any of the same data that Font Awesome showed. I was hoping it would. A lot of times it's still encoded in the file format in plain text. You just have to look. Like this one, it's all in plain text, telling you what's in there. Font Awesome 5 free regular. So that's the font name it's looking up. So let's try, oh, I don't have my keycaster going. Put it right there next to me. That looks good. All right. So what happens if we do that name? And we don't need the regular. So it could be just fonts, even though we're loading them in, they're not loading in with the right name stuff. So hopefully we can fix that by, I didn't do anything in here to actually read the fonts and get the data from the fonts. May need to do some of that, so that way we can look things up appropriately and know what it should translate to. Okay, my music is slow. What's going on? Yeah, I'm glad the ISPs are starting to drop a lot of these caps anyway with everybody working from home, but it's just crap they've ever existed anyway. They don't curb any internet usage. It's just a way for them to squeeze more money out of people. All right, let's try figuring this out. This is driving me nuts. Let's fix Samantha. Font Samantha. Actually, it might be that one though. They put a 1 in there, but maybe it's not a 1. We might be able to... actually, on fonts on iOS work differently because I just load it from the resource and say this is that font. Where Android, we have to load it and still load the right name. I gotta stop eating these mints. It's ridiculous. Throw them out of my reach. All right, so let's jump into iOS, figure out what's going on there. I'm gonna put it back to how it was. Run this stuff again. Come on, build. You got this. We really need like a trimmed down Xamarin.Forms solution that has like nothing in it, just the bare minimum required to build. So we don't have to rebuild 100 solutions or projects every time we change one line of code. All right. Well, let's try this again. Embedded fonts. All right. So we've got the resource. It did find the right resource. It found Samantha1 TTF. It created the provider. Okay, no out error. It registered the CG font. All right, so once these things are loaded, there's something in here to where it caches these. So it does toNative.Font. It does something in here, cleans up the font name, finds it, does this, returns the font name. The PostScript name is Samantha1. This, I'm just trying to remember how this code works. All right, toUI font. toUI font is going to do some toNative. toNative does a lookup of some sort. Gets all the font stuff. Lock that. Try get out. toUI fonts. So there's two of them in here. So we go through, we lock, and then we add one. So I just want to see that caching. It now adds it. All right, so we've just now added. Why is that SFUI regular? All right, something's way wrong in there. So what do you, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What do you need is Xamarin.Forms to be cross-compiled. Okay. At least you can create project templates. Xamarin.Forms is all open source. I don't know if the project template stuff is. I actually, to be honest, I have no idea how to create my own project templates. But you technically can. People do them by creating Visual Studio extensions. And you can do that. Have one that adds templates. So you can add your own templates. So actually, if it was up to me, we would have deleted the true blank template that has absolutely nothing in it. I'm still mad that thing doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, there's an extension to create templates. I've just never taken the time to figure that out. All right, so what's coming into this? Font family null. Okay, so there was already two in here last time. These aren't the ones we care about. All right, let me remove that breakpoint because we don't care about that. Let's try this again. Embedded fonts. So this creates the fonts. Oh, it might be something in here. So this is super, super lame with how this stuff works. What I can do is add a new font in. And the new font is Samantha. So then we return Samantha. Isn't that super lame? We register the font and then I diff and see what the new font is. Yes, Comet is still alive. It is alive and kicking. I'm just working on an old Xamarin.Forms pull request that I have not finished, and the community has actually pretty mad at me for not finishing. So, yeah. And yes, you can share extensions with other people. You can add them to this. There's an extension gallery, and you can add your own extensions to this gallery. You can ship it as a file. They can install it from a file, or you can install it from the built-in repositories, add your own. There's lots you can do. So yes, we know Comet is not dead. It is far from dead. I promise you. I've just been busy. Why can't I close this? Is XM debugging? Okay, now I'm stuck with my extension manager open. Please close. Don't get bigger. I've never seen this happen. Oh, and it's not its own window, so I can't. Well, I showed you how to do it, Luce. That's nice. Okay, so visuals. I don't know what else to do. Yes, I am on an early preview. I'm on an internal preview that you guys can't even get. It's like, well, you could. It's like a master build, basically. I have a daily master build that I install. So, daily master builds, fun stuff can happen. So yeah, maybe later this week I'll do some streams on Comet. I might stream doing some of. I might do some of the stuff just laughing at Dan's tweet about to Samantha about the Samantha font not loading. So, but yes, I might do some streams on Comet later this week. Maybe do some on working on the extension for VS Code. I have never live streamed that, and that stuff's not open source right now for a couple of reasons. I think I can share most of the code though as I work on it. It'll get open sourced eventually at some point. It's just don't know when. So, yeah. So I might work on the extension. So I'll be doing some TypeScript and stuff like that, and it's TypeScript and C# because I need C# as well to make it all work. Modifying the MS build process. It's some really deep stuff. I don't know how many of you guys like following the really deep in the weed stuff. That's the problem, is I get stuck in so many weird deep in the weed stuff that's not building an app, so it's not as applicable to most people, but I enjoy it. My nose will not stop itching today. It's driving me nuts. I don't know what happened. I actually might have to stop live streaming. Oh, why is it doing all my key presses? I don't want you guys seeing everything I type. That's ridiculous. Key caster stuff. You're only supposed to do modifier keys. Display only command keys. When did that change? There we go. I might have to stop live streaming. David Ortnow says there's a meeting I'm supposed to be joining, and he forgot to invite me, or someone forgot to. That's not fun. I'm asking when that is, because I wanted to fix this embedded fonts. It's right now. I'm probably have to end streaming, guys. That was totally unexpected. No, I don't know if there's any. Yes, you easily could stand in for me, Asterix. That'd be awesome. I'm just wondering why this isn't working, because now this is returning the font file. Oh no, that one did the right PostScript file name. But then when we got to here, oh, okay, this is doing a new font. This is getting the data out. Put the breakpoint back here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to drop, guys. I'm so sorry. I should just listen in and keep streaming. I could maybe... Okay, so this font's not registering. So there's an issue with this font because we're getting the data. We get the old fonts. We load in the font provider. No error. But why is this font not registering? When I tell it to register that font... Oh, because it's the font awesome one that already exists. It's the same font awesome. Because we have it in here twice, right? Maybe not. Whatever font we're loading in, they're like, we already have this font. Which I agreed, this font awesome regular is not font awesome. What font is that? That's font awesome. No idea. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm gonna have to end. Let's see if there's anyone else streaming. We can send you. Let's see who's streaming right now. Anyone from the live? Oh, Bald Builder. Do you guys ever watch Bald Builder? He's really fun. If you don't, he's got some awesome streams. He normally doesn't stream .NET stuff, but he really is fun. So I'm going to go join my meeting. I might start streaming again in a bit. I'll tweet if I do. It depends on how this meeting goes. All right. So we're going to go raid Bald Builder because he's awesome. He's really fun. His stream's amazing. I wish my stream quality could ever get as good as his. Maybe someday. Sorry for such a short stream. Sorry we didn't fix the problem. I'm so sorry. We'll get there.